Welcome back, everyone. Dan Hodges, naturalist at Johnny Appleseed Metro Park District, is with us today. He's out in the woods, as he often is. And you guys had an event lately, and when you were on that event, you noticed something out in the woods. Tell us what you found.
Yeah, this is totally cool. We had a 7 to 10-year-old find this for us. Really cool animal that often gets a really bad rap. So right behind me here in this tree, it's only about, he's maybe 10 feet away, is the nest of a bald-faced hornet. What a cool animal. This is an animal that's related to yellow jackets, and then, of course, the wasps in general. And these guys get a really bad rap. You know, Jeff, there's thousands, I'm not kidding, thousands of different types of wasps right here in Ohio. And there's just a handful that cause us a little bit of issues. Perhaps the bald-faced is considered among them. But a lot of times we think wasps in general, and we think, they're bad. But they're actually doing a lot of really good things.
You know, one thing, before you get to that I noticed its nest back there seems very low, kind of precarious. Is there a certain way they tend to make those nests?
So these are chewing wood, and that's happening with a lot of these wasps. They're chewing wood, and they're mixing it with some of their saliva, and they're building these papery structures. The architecture is really actually fascinating, and it is fairly fragile. But of course, they're defending it with more than just its strength. I usually see bald-faced hornet's nest higher up. So this is a little low, in my opinion. But I didn't ask the queen. Yeah, so they definitely do build them sometimes down low, and this is characteristics for the bald-faced hornet. It's this big round kind of balloon-shaped nest. Other wasps will nest in different ways. Now, the social nesters, like yellow jackets or paper wasps, we know some of these. The social nesters will have a nest that has multiple individuals, sometimes a queen, and many workers, whereas most of the wasps that are out there, most of the ones you see in your garden, most of the ones you see visiting your flowers, those are solitary nesters. They don't have a whole big, family to try to protect. Rather, they're laying their own egg, right? It's like they're single moms, right? They're working hard to raise their own babies rather than their mother's babies or their sisters, etc. So the social nesting, or the solitary nesting wasps are by far more numerous than the social nesters, and they're usually a lot less of a perceived problem. We don't like them, and if they can sting, but they generally don't.
I always hear that, too, when I was a kid. Leave wasps alone or leave hornets alone, and they'll leave you alone. You mentioned that they do get a bad rap. Are there things that they do that are beneficial? I think of pollinators and that kind of thing. Are there things that these hornets are doing that is good for for nature?
Yeah, that's a great question. I get that all the time. The answer is, of course, yes. All of these animals play a role in the ecological function of our native habitats. And these guys play an important role, too. They're ferocious predators. See, baby wasps need protein. And so these adults, whether they're social nesters or solitary nesters, they're out hunting. So they're picking up things like caterpillars or katydids and crickets, lots of different types of spiders, different types of animals, and they're bringing them back, and different strategies for different wasps, but they're feeding their babies this meat. And then the adults themselves are out drinking nectar. And when they're drinking nectar, they're getting pollen on their bodies, and they're carrying that pollen from one flower to another. So they're excellent pest control, excellent predators in the garden. And they're also really good pollinators as well. Of course, there's animals that eat wasps, and they function in the food web that way too. Really just interesting animals, and definitely important to local habitats. Before I let you go here, Jeff, I do want to turn you around. We'll get a little closer to these guys. I think that wasps in general, really cool animals. And then the bald-faced hornets among the top. So let's take a look here. I'm not going to get too close here. So this is a good balloon size. And they're coming in and out even pretty early in the morning, a little earlier than I expected. They're up and at them. But these guys, really cool. And if you notice, If you notice, Jeff, I mean, I'm getting a little closer than perhaps I would normally. But these guys, they're not worried about me because I'm not a threat to the nest at this point. So they're off doing their own business. I'm doing my business. They don't care about me. When I get a little closer and I start damaging the nest, that's when things get a little sticky. Or if I'm out at a barbecue and, that yellow jacket landed on, the hot dog and, then I tried to swat it, right? That's when things get a little bit sticky. And it's unfortunate that their first line of defense is to sting. But really, like you said, if you leave them alone, they're really content to leave you alone too. So hopefully in a place like this, we're going to leave this go. Really good for our native ecosystems.
Yeah. If I see Dan run off, we know it's time to go. Dan, as always, we appreciate it. And we'll be back after this.